Okay, today we're going to talk about traditional long division, and we're going to talk about remainders represented as fractions. So we're going to use our same mnemonic device here as we did before. So the DMS down, dude. So divide, then multiply, then subtract, and bring down. So really our process is going to be the same, except that we're going to represent our remainders as fractions. So when we talk about fractions, we have our numerator and our denominator. Numerator is our top number, denominator is our bottom number. And another way to think about that is that the numerator is the part and the denominator is the whole. So if I were to shade this circle over here, if I were to shade, let's say 3 of the 4, and I know that's a little sloppy, but 3 of the 4, that is 3/4, right? So the part that is shaded is 3. Oop, let's change my color. 3, and the whole, or the number of the pieces all together would be 4. So 3/4, right? So if we think about this when we do our division problem, so if I was dividing by 4 and I had 3 left at the end, that would be 3 of the possible 4 that I would be able to get into there, right? So if I had 1, 2, 3, right? Or another way to think about this would be, let's see, if I had 4 going into 35, right? 4 times 8 is 32, and I have 3 left over, right? So if I had 35 cookies and I'm trying to split them between 4 friends, each friend would be able to get 8 cookies and I'd have 3 left over, right? So I have 3 and then what I could do here is use this as a fraction with my remainder, 3/4. Okay, so that would mean that each friend would get 8 3/4 of a cookie. So that's how your remainder is going to work out, right? So I would be able to cut each cookie into these fourths, and each friend would get 3/4 total of the remaining or leftover cookies. Okay, so again, we've got our divisor out here. We have our dividend underneath and our quotient on the top. And so we're representing our remainder with remainder. Our remainder will be our numerator and our divisor will be our denominator, because our remainder is the part that's left over and our divisor would represent if it would go into it all the way or whole. Okay, so here we go. Let's give this one a try. So 2 goes into 7 how many times? It goes in 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. Subtract and I get 1. So my division process is going to be completely the same. The only thing that's going to change is how I'm representing my denominator or my remainder at the end. Okay, so now 2 goes into 16 how many times? 8. 8 times 2 is 16. Subtract and I get 0. Bring down my 4. How many times does 2 go into 4? It goes in twice. 2 times 4 is 4. Subtract and I get 0. Bring down my 9. 2 goes into 9 how many times? 4 times. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract and I get 1. So normally what I've done in the past is I've written R1, right? That's my remainder. It's how I'm representing my remainder in a typical format. Now what they're asking us to do is represent it as a fraction. So my remainder is going to be my numerator, so 1 over, and my denominator is going to be my divisor over 2. So my answer is 3,824 1/2. So that is my answer. So do you see how my remainder is my numerator and my divisor is my denominator? All right, another one. So for this one, we've got 7,832 divided by 5. So how many times will 5 go into 7? It goes in 1 time. 1 times 5 is 5. Subtract and I get 2. Bring down my 8. How many times does 5 go into 28? It goes in 5 times. 5 times 5 is 25. Subtract and I get 3. Bring down my 3. How many times does 5 go into 33? It goes in 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract and I get 3. Bring down my 2. How many times does 5 go into 32? It goes in 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30. Subtract and we get 2. There's nothing left to bring down, and we're representing this as a fraction, so we're ready to do our remainder. So there's my fraction bar, and then I get my divisor is my denominator, so my 5 will go on the bottom, and my remainder, which is 2, will go as my numerator. So my final answer to this is 1,566 2/5. Okay? All right, let's try this one. So we have, can 3 go into 5? 3 goes into 5 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract and I get 2. Bring down my 4. 3 goes into 24 8 times. 8 times 3 is 24. Subtract and we get 0. Bring down my 2. Can 3 go into 2? Nope. My 0 goes up in my quotient. 0 times 3 is 0. Subtract and get 2. Bring down our 6. Can 3 go into 26? Yep, it goes in 8 times. 3 times 8 would be 24. Subtract and I get 2. Okay, we're ready for our remainder. So we have a 3 as our divisor, and we have a 2 as our remainder. So our final answer will be 1,808 2/3. Okay, thanks guys.